G'day folks, Bobby here, aka TheNoobKarter, and we are back on track for our first event post-COVID. Thank you to Slideways go-karting. They're putting on these events again, and they are essentially starting from scratch. All the other events that happened pre-COVID lockdown have been scrapped in terms of points, and they're restarting. We've got 4 rounds. The ladder's restarting, and we'll see how we go. Unfortunately, I can probably only make it to 2 of these rounds. This round that are just showing here, and one later in the year, just because of work and family commitments. But we will see what we can do. Hopefully we can come to more. As the thumbnail has suggested, I had a bit of a crappy start to this race. So let's get the race started and see how we went. Green flags are up. Waving, and away we go. Actually have a pretty good start, but then I get stuck behind the slower starter and lose 1, 2, 3, 4 positions. I make one of those back just here. Just forcing my way through. So that was, I'm going to put that down to inexperience. That is my first time starting middle of the pack on the outside line. I didn't even think to cover the inside line. So that's something I'm going to have to definitely work on in later races. But as soon as I left myself on the outside, they were all over me. Like mullet on a bogan, you know, they were just everywhere. So I tried to settle into a bit of a groove here. I think I'd come up to maybe 11th place at this stage, so I'd lost 3. I started 8th, sorry, I should have mentioned. I started 8th with 19, so I actually qualified relatively well. So I was pretty happy with my qualification. Definitely been improving, getting some quicker lap times, so pretty happy with that. And then to lose out 4 positions and gain 1 back in the first lap was pretty disheartening. And also struggled with my line into this corner there. I kept hitting that wall in my first race, and that let young Miss C here get ahead of me. So the rest of the race ends up becoming a bit of a battle between me and Miss C. Back and forth, back and forth. We go past a few people, but it's really between me and her. In terms of I try to stay on her butt as much as possible. We're going to jump forward a little bit here to a little bit later in the race where a little bit more action happens. So here we are, we've caught up a little bit with a bit of a battle pack, and I stayed with Miss C as best I could. I am quicker in some parts of the track and she's quicker in other parts. I do have a bit of weight on me compared to her, so she does lose me on the straights a little bit. But we have a bit of bumping and jostling going on, and I'm going to try to capitalise on that. I'm just going on the inside of this guy. Thanks, mate. Leaving some room there, but I've got the inside line to turn 1, which is get the pass done. So generally in a lap, I'm quicker during turn 2 and turn 3 just there, all the way up to kind of turn 7, which is just here. That's turn 7 there, and then sort of just after turn 8 and turn 9 is where I start to slow down a bit compared to Miss C. Make this pass here. I think that may have been lap traffic, I'm not 100% sure, but from here a bit slower than Miss C. She is quite a bit lighter. She's got the maximum weight that they can add to a kart, which is 30 kilos added, and she's still probably about 10 to 15 kilos lighter than myself. So yeah, I guess that's why she's quicker on the straight. So the straight comes uphill a little bit first, so that extra acceleration should definitely be a big advantage. So we're coming on to the back of these two. They are 10th and 9th place. SC is 11th place there, and we're trying to see if we can pop into the top 10. Has been drizzling a bit, so I just had to clean my visor there again. Made it a little bit slippery, but not too bad. And I'm just joining this battle pack here. We get pretty close. Miss C's putting some real pressure on, trying to get into top 10. It's got that line right by the end of race 1, the line on turn 1. I wasn't hitting the wall anymore, so happy with that. Turn 7's always been good for me, so I always catch up a fair bit in that turn. I think I do turn 9 relatively well now as well. This turn 10, I struggle with a little bit. I keep hitting a bit of curbing, and it throws me wide a little bit, so that's something I have to work on. And you can see as we're going on the straight up the hill, I start disappearing a little bit, and I have to catch back up. Last lap, I believe. Let's see if we can do anything to get into the top 10 with the C here. Red flags are out. We'll have to stop because there's been an incident and those two idiots just keep driving. Great, good job guys, red flags are meant to stop. Alright, we're going to jump ahead here to the end of this incident where we get going again. Green flags again, let's go. And the weight difference you can see right there. And off she goes. So that is, just going to get the checkered flag. And that is race 1 of the new series of 2020 in the bag. We are going to jump through to race 2 and get that started here in a second and see how we go. Right, let us try race 2. I'm starting from 12th this time because that's where I finished race 1. Green flags are up. Jiggling around. We're ready to go. Again, I'm good off the line. Don't come across though. You see number 9 came across quite sharply. I was able to block anything coming up from the inside. So I think that's something I need to do going forward if I'm starting from the outside. A little bit of experience and something to learn. But so I lost 1 position there down to 13th. But no one's been all over me like the first race. So that's good. I didn't lose 4 positions. So I'm happy. Or happier with that than I was the previous start. Clutch myself on to these 2 drivers. Miss C is 2 ahead of me. She was the one that was ahead of me at the end of race 1. And the person that just got past me there is actually the dad of one of the very fast drivers. I guess the very fast driver we can call Master L, and this guy we can call Mr. C. But yes, one of the dads of one of the very fast drivers, and is quite a fast driver in himself. So my plan was to let him go out Miss C and see if he could get past her, and I was going to hope to sneak up the inside of Miss C at the same time. So essentially just stay in touch with these guys and see what we can do. But as you can see, it's quite compressed, the battle pack. That is second lap in, and we're still quite compressed. As the race goes on, we will spread out a little bit more, but right now we are still fairly close in. I still hit that wall. I thought I'd sort of corrected that line at the end of race 1, but a bit of lapse of judgment, I guess. Let them get away a little bit here, and I'll catch back up. There, as they're battling it out. Line I'm taking into that last big banking corner might be slightly wrong as well. I'm thinking I might try to apex a bit later on that one, just to have a better... so close to getting up the inside of Miss C there. But she has the inside lane. Good defending from Miss C. She has the inside lane line there. Get bunched up in the pack there. Some big battles going on. I run into Mr. C and get someone runs into the back of me, so there's definitely someone straight behind me there. This battle goes on for a little bit, so we might just skip forward. So this is a little bit later in the race, a couple of laps further along in the race. Mr. C and Miss C are still going at it here. We're in a bit of a bubble here. We've got away from the guys that are behind me, and the guys ahead of us have kind of drifted away from us a bit as well. Miss C makes a bit of a mistake there. Mr. C capitalises up the inside, and I'm just not close enough to make anything of that. She closes the door on me there. Bit of a mistake. Let's see. It still has a better run out of the corner than me there. But I'm a bit closer than I normally am. Bit of a mistake there again, but I have a bit of a mistake too, so I'll let her get away from that one. Should have been closer. A couple of small mistakes from Miss C there. Keeps me in touch. It's such a narrow track, it is hard to capitalise on anything, even if someone has a bit of a slide. There's not really... You can't really go the inside or the outside around it. There's not always a way around. And someone... What we might do is we might skip ahead a bit more. Essentially this battle just goes on like it is. So we join a few laps later. Mr. C has disappeared into the distance. Miss C is still straight in front of me, making little mistakes that is slowing me down. So every time she makes one of these small mistakes, I get off the gas so I'm not ploughing straight into her. But it is slowing me down a little bit as well. But she always just gets away from me on the last quarter of a lap here and onto the straight. So I can never really... I spend the first part of the lap catching up with her again. I'm not really able to capitalise on anything. Oh, so close to getting on the inside there. Or the outside, I guess it is now. But like if I hadn't, if she hadn't got away from me on the straight there, I would have been so much closer. I probably would have been up the inside of that one. But that's racing, isn't it? Especially on a tight track like this. And there she gets away a little bit. And her exit corner speed is so much better than mine. I don't know if it's last lap coming up. I don't know if it's my line, like I was saying a bit earlier, or if it's just the weight difference. But I'm still going to think about that line I'm taking. I might try to later apex that, just see if it makes a difference to my times or my races. Last lap, close. I had to pull off the throttle there, and she got away a little bit. Doing that corner much better. Turn 10 versus my first race of the session. And yeah, again, just exit corner speed is a lot better. So definitely something I'll work on. Checkered flag. That's it for today. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed watching the race. There's one more race of this event, the final race, and it is a cracker. There are some passes from me, there are some crashes that I wasn't directly involved in, but I got caught up in as being a bit of an innocent bystander in it, but absolute action-packed race, so definitely join me for that. That video will be out soon. Should be a bit of fun to watch. But anyway, TheNoobKarter signing off. Thanks so much for joining me. Have a great day.